Yes, I have been late because guess what? My motivation to go there and show up and show out has been diminished because of the racist and xenophobic nonstop since I got there.
I was told that I am too aggressive, and that's the reason why I got fired. Life doesn't feel good.
She called me in her office and she said, I'm going to give you two options. You can either resign effective immediately or I have to let you go.
They were fired because they were overweight and that didn't fit with the vibe check of the office environment.
So she's like, you're a dum dum. You're a dum dum. I'm the dum dum, and you clearly have not made it past fifth grade.
From a place that I have worked at for 11 years, and I was told that I am too aggressive, and that's the reason why I got fired. And I simply asked the question. Little do they know I have multiple recordings of me just asking a question and getting in trouble for it. But I see counterparts that don't look like me have anxiety attacks, panic attacks, yell at people, and there's no consequences. Mind you, I had a terrible injury. At the end of 23, I had to learn how to walk again, broke my leg in 6 places, so they know about that. So technically, I have a disability on top of the financial strain it caused. And I'm just like, God, like, I don't have much more in me. I don't have much more. I have been betrayed by so many people this year. More than one hand can count, okay? And I have felt every level of pain that you could literally feel right now this year. I got baptized this year because I felt led to get baptized. And I fasted before the situation with my job happened because I felt led to fast. And unfortunately, I'm just like, God, like, why am I here? Like, if everything in my life is going to crap, like, why am I here? Like, life doesn't feel like fun. Life doesn't feel good. And it's weird because, like, my goals, I'm really starting to get really close to my goals. But I just almost feel like I don't even want to work towards them anymore because everything is just going wrong. I've always been like a super motivated person, but I'm just tired. And I'm so faithful. And I believe in God and I trust in Him. But if the world knew everything that I've been through, like, this is hard. This is so hard. And it's not just one thing. It's one thing after another, after another. And I keep praying and I keep praying and I keep praying. And I'm trying not to lose hope, but please keep me in your prayers.
You know, a lot of times, I was going to say sometimes, but most of the time, we put ourselves in these situations. It could have been something about you. It could have been that you did come across aggressive. Maybe you did something in a way that I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it that we know that you do. I'll say it like that. We know that you do. They know that you do and realized it. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. And I hate to call it out, but when you were sitting there sucking your teeth, I'm like, they may take that as a sign. You showed something. You didn't realize it. Maybe you showed something to a man, and a man can see that right away. And you were exposed. But I got to tell you something. I've realized years ago, many, many years ago, like 2012, that's when I left corporate America. And what's happening is, because I gotta say this, because a lot of you ladies, you get your degrees, then you go into corporate America and feel like, oh, I got my degree, I'm here, I've won. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. And I'm not trying to just call out the degree part. I'm calling out the slave part. And I'm not saying that everybody in the future, everybody will struggle, but it's better to struggle when you're doing your own. You understand? And that's why I'm happy I do what I do. And I have to announce it. I know people sometimes feel a certain way, but I teach how to make your own income. Say if you came to me and you paid the money, I would teach you. I've taught females in the past. I don't mind. And literally, you can even hire people to do it for you. Now I add both included in the same package. Hiring others to work for you, also working for yourself. And it's wild because the way I show it, you'll see like, wow, in a matter of a week, you can making some income. Serious income. I show guys the margins are like around 400, 300, 400 bucks, sometimes 40 bucks. It's amazing. And I got the link in the description. Definitely check it out, guys. If you want an opportunity to make extra money, it's worth it.
I got fired today. This is new territory for me because I've never been fired from a job ever. But yeah, I got fired today. I was working at a salon in New York. Our first client of the day comes in and everything was peachy. Everything was great. None of us caught traffic on the way in. It was fantastic. Everything's great. They were talking about the Knicks. Cool. Go Knicks. We up. Champs is here. Cool. Everything's fine. Somehow, somewhere, some way, the conversation takes the hardest left I've ever seen. Okay? Takes a left. And now we're talking shit about immigrants. We're talking shit about Palestinians. The word disgusting is being thrown around. Like, hard ass left. Okay? I wait a minute to see if the conversation is maybe going to take a turn. Because, to something more
Guys, I'm listening to see where she messed up.
positive. Because keep in mind, the person that is doing her hair, not from this country. The people that own the salon that she's talking cash shit in, also not from this country. So, the conversation just keeps getting worse. And me being me, you're never going to get the fuck up. You're never going to get me to shut the fuck up. And if there's a bully in the vicinity, they have to deal with me. And I don't want to hear this shit no more. So I walk over and I'm like, hey, could we maybe change the subject? Like, just maybe talk about something else. What? I said,
Yeah.
could we maybe change the subject? Like, I find your conversation offensive. Could we maybe just change the subject? I don't care. I can talk to my stylist about whatever I want. You're all the way over there. I don't care. I said,
Now, the other lady, she was very feminine presenting, right? She's the aggressive one. I see why you got fired. Listen to this. Let's hear her out.
you're disgusting because you should care about how your words affect other people.
What?
And I walked the fuck away.
You said
Now,
that.
She's still talking cash. I don't know what about me made her think that I gave a fuck, but I don't. However, the conversation was changed because now she's talking about me, which I don't give a fuck. But now, the person that's doing her hair can just listen to that instead of her listening to her talk about her and possibly her family and anybody that she cares about. So cool. I ended up having to walk past them again. And she's like, there's a lot of people that feel like me. And they come here. So you better watch your back. Watch my back for what, ho? You and your friends can get dragged. Reel it in. I'm not upset. So I continue to let her talk. Whatever. I don't. Like I said what the I said. You're disgusting. So whatever you have to say means nothing to me. She comes to check out. I'm going to be having a very private conversation with the owners. And I don't care. Why? Because I do it again, and I do it again, ho. The fuck? Again, I don't know what about me made you think that I gave a but I don't. You're disgusting. So she's like, you're a dum-dum. I'm the dum-dum, and you clearly have not made it past 5th grade. Because that's all that you could come up with was dum-dum. Anyway, so she finally is done doing her best Karen that I've seen in a long ass time. And I go to the back, I check on the stylist. I'm like, hey, you okay? She's like, yeah, I'm okay. I appreciate you, sticking up for me. I don't know what to say in those situations. English is not her first language. And she's also very timid. And that's no offense to her. It's just not who she is to stick up for herself. Me, however, I'm going to stand 10 toes. If there's a bully in the vicinity, they have to deal with me. She's like, thank you for sticking up for me, blah, 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 blah. I get a phone call at the end of the day, about 5 minutes before it's time for me to clock out. And it's, hey, I'm so sorry to do this, but I can't have this in my salon. You can't have what in your salon, Buki? Somebody that's willing to stick up for not only you, but for the people that work for you, the people that visit your establishment. and making sure that inappropriate conversations are not being had in your salon. You can't have that in your salon. Yeah, you're probably right. This is not the place for me, because if put in that situation again, I'd do it again. I do it again. I do it again, because I don't give a what racial group she was talking about, what religious group she was talking about. Change the subject. Like, it's disgusting. It should not be happening in a salon, period. So I do it again, I do it again, and I do it again, and I'm maybe dragged the next. So yeah, that happened. That was my Monday. How was yours?
Now I gotta say this. I commend her for what she's doing, defending people. When I was younger and I hung around people that were defenseless, I've had defenseless friends. And when people tried to bully them, I didn't let that happen. But there's a difference between something that happens in childhood. Let me land it. And something that happens where you make your moon, you make money there. What are you thinking? That was the way to go out. If that lady can't speak, you should have let her eat all of that. Look, you're in New York too. It's a cold place. You want to come to New York and make some money? You got to go through that ring of fire. Seriously. I would have let that lady taste the ring of death. Am I wrong for wanting to be a grown person and let people fight their own battles? I don't think so. You probably should have did that too. Now, I got to say this. You can find another job at another salon easy. It won't be a problem, but she could have making a lot of money too, a lot of tips. Don't put yourself on the line.
So guys, I want to do a quick look at Nardi story time, right? I just got fired today from my job as a lunch lady with the Kingston School District. Specifically, I was at the Bailey Middle School in Kingston, New York, and I got fired for pretty much no reason. Like, basically, guys, I've experienced racism and xenophobia on that job nonstop since I got there. Okay? Nonstop since I got there, and I'm the one that get fired after finding a shard of glass this big in my shoe. On January 30th, I was wearing snow boots. So while I was changing out of the snow boots to my work non-slip sneakers, I find a shard of glass this big, right? So now, after experiencing multiple instances of xenophobic behavior and microaggressions to me, being the only Black lunch lady at said school, they literally fired me today. After I reported the incident to HR with the glass and all these things, right? Because apparently the probationary period ends in March, and it's March 4th? So the probationary period ended or whatever, and they're saying how because of tardiness, and mind you guys, I'm literally a single mom trying to make a way out of no way, okay? I've been out of the workforce for like 10 years. Okay, because
No. I had to stop her because now she's pulling for pity. Now, you said you're a single mom. Is that your defense? Explain yourself. Is that why you were late? Because from how it sounds, I need to hear a little bit more, because it sounds like that's why she was fired. Let's hear more.
I was a landlady, and then I did Airbnb, and I pet sit occasionally. So it's like, my house is just falling so apart that I'm not able to rent or do Airbnb anymore. So I got a job or whatever. And mind you, I was preparing myself to deal with it as a Black woman entering the workforce, working with these people. And literally, the first instance was the problem with, I'm lactose intolerant, right? So I literally said to them, I said, can I have access to the lactate milk? So that was a big hoopla. After this stupid bitch Bobby, I'm calling names, this stupid Bobby, gonna come to me, oh, you can't have that when I'm eating breakfast. Mind you, it was an hour until the lunch is to be served. Boom. Other microaggressions I experienced in the beginning. I get there, right? Mind you, I didn't know, oh, you have to be upstairs by 9:15. I'm thinking you're in the building by 9:15. Oh, that's still a problem. Oh, you're supposed to be upstairs by 9:15. Okay, so I said, all right, so whatever time I get upstairs, I'll just put the time then, right?
You can't make this.
So I'm not gonna hold y'all. Yes, I have been late because guess what? My motivation to go there and show up and show out has been diminished because of the racist and xenophobic I have had to deal with working in the Kingston School District in Kingston, New York. A racist
Man. You're telling on yourself. Every single video, just let me tell why. You just told why they fired you. They don't have time for excuses. This is why I left corporate America. I couldn't deal with this. I refused to deal with it. Whether it was their problem, my problem, I just wouldn't deal with it. Like, but to get on the internet and tell us why you feel sorry for yourself, that doesn't make me feel sorry for you.
I just recorded a whole 7 minutes of what I'm about to tell y'all, but I was like, you know what? Just in case somebody, the right person sees this, let me go ahead and do it again. So, I went to work today as normal, and I got let go today. I knew it was coming. I had a feeling because the environment was just different. The atmosphere was different. Everything was different about everything. So, I knew it was coming. I had a feeling it was coming. So, letting y'all know, if you are not happy on your job, or if you feel uneasy, you feel like you're walking on eggshells, talk to your boss. I regret not talking to her because I'm the type of person, I psych myself out thinking about the worst case scenario about a situation with any part of my life. That's just how I am, because I don't like confrontation. So I automatically think, well, if I say this, what if she says this? Or if I say that, what if she does this? So I always psych myself out, and I always get the short end of the stick every time. So I said that to say, talk to your boss. Let them know how you're feeling, because at the end of the day, this happens to you. You know that you voiced your opinion about, or you voiced your concerns, and nothing changed. I can't say that, but I actually went to work today looking forward to talking to my boss, because I talked to my husband last night and he was telling me, just tell her how you feel. Tell her how you've been feeling lately, and then y'all go from there. I was looking forward to talking to her, having a conversation, but she called me in her office and she said, I'm going to give you two options. You can either resign effective immediately, or I have to let you go. And I said, I'll resign. And when she said that to me, I was like, I knew it. Because last week or week before last, she had gave me 4 pieces of paper that were typed up by the girl that's training me. She's basically like the office manager. And she basically typed out things that I've made mistakes on in the past few weeks. And I told my husband, I'm like, I feel like she's trying to build a case to let me go. He was like, no, she may just be putting it in your file. Don't think nothing of it. Maybe she's doing it just so you can learn from it. I was like, you might be right. But this happened. So it pissed me off because of the way she did it. And she did it exactly how I knew she would do it. But what pisses me off even more is when I first started, she told me, if you ever need any time, if it's something that you need to take care of, if something's going on at home and you need a few days, just let me know. Employers, stop doing that. If you don't mean it, don't say that. So from now on, when I hear something like that, or we're a close-knit office, it's not that much, that's not that many of us in here, we are like family, I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. And if I'm on an interview, from this day forward, if I have an interview and that's one of the things they tell me, I'm going to politely say, no disrespect, but I don't need that. I have my own family at home. I'm going to come to work. I'm going to do my job to the best of my ability. I will go above and beyond all day long. But this is not this is not my family. This is my job.
That's true.
I'm going to have that mindset, because every job that I've had, I always go in and I instantly make friends.
No, see, what she was saying You have to say that to yourself. When she says that, you play the yeah. And when they say you don't talk enough, talk. Tell them a lot, but don't tell them things you want to tell them. You understand? If you don't want to tell them what's really going on, don't. And don't see it as you being fake. Go play the game. That's what I have to say. If you're not going to leave the workforce, because I would suggest you ought to leave the workforce, but they wouldn't do that. You know, you got your degrees, all of that stuff. You got to do what you got to do. You got to work, right? I can tell you're not like the others. You know, I can tell when you said I was forced to resign also when you said my husband and, you know, I'm listening to certain things. I can hear it in your voice. You make mistakes. You didn't make excuses. That's what I'm saying. And there's some signs. I look for the signs. But let me let her finish.
Because at the end of the day, I want to be comfortable at work. I want to laugh. I want to have a good time while still getting my work done and doing my job.
Do that.
It bit me in the tail every single time. Every single time. So from now on, I'm going to make sure that it's just business. It's never going to be personal. I'm not going out. We ain't going out together for drinks after work. We ain't doing none of that. Because I got folks outside of work that I could.
See, that right there, that's going to hurt you, ladies. It is. Saying we're not doing none of that, it's kind of like to make sure, if you want to stay in the workforce, to make sure you stay there, you have to play the game. You have to. There's no way around it because it's going to happen to you again, right? Maybe, and you could have been her friend, but they probably weren't your friends. I'm sure you weren't going out with them, with the bosses. I almost can bet that from how it sounds. You weren't buddy with them.
Do that with. Because I'm telling y'all, every single time, every job that I've had, it has bit me in the tail every time. It's 2024, y'all. It's about to be 2025. Your peace, your sanity.
Yeah. So what's happening is when you move to that next gig, you have to play the game. There's no way around it. You got to play it.
Real about weight discrimination. So this post came from something someone submitted about a situation they were going through where essentially they were fired because they were overweight and that didn't fit with the vibe check of the office environment, right? And so there was a lot of comments about this around like, this is totally unfair. This should be illegal to discriminate against people. Don't we have laws against that? And the reality is that we do have discrimination laws in our country, both at the federal, the state, and at a local jurisdiction level, like your cities and things like that. And we have these things called protected classes. So your protected classes are the things that we are most common right around, like you're protected from discrimination on race, gender, religion, national origin, pregnancy, things of that nature, right? And there are only 2 states that I believe, which I think is Michigan and California, that have weight discrimination protections, right? But outside of that, not at the federal and not out of the other 48 states, right? There is no protections against obesity, right? So unfortunately, employers in those states, right, and where there is not like at will or where there's at will provisions, meaning that like you don't have a union contract that like states a certain way that you have to be able to fire someone. So outside of that, employers have the right to fire someone because they don't like their physical appearance, aka your weight, right, because you're overweight, etc. It is legal, right? And the other thing that I want to share with people is that outside of being discriminated for any of those protected classes, right? And again, if you're in an at-will environment, you theoretically can be fired for any reason, right? So you could technically be fired because your boss is a Alabama fan, that's red, and you're an Auburn fan and you come in with orange and your boss says, you know what, I don't like Auburn, I don't like that orange, you're fired today. And they would be able to get away with it. So that is the reality of our workforce. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you what it is. And being unfair is different from being illegal.
Wow. That's crazy. You know, hearing that, I bet some bosses are about to get straight up rowdy. You know what? I don't like those nails you're wearing. You know, Sharkeisha, I don't like the way you look at me. You know they're saying it. They fired the female and said, "You was fired for being too aggressive." That's what they said to the first lady, right? "You looking like a man. You came in here talking like a man and sucking your teeth." And the next lady, she was just wild. Then the third lady, same thing. We got to do better. We got to do better.
I ran out of gas. This man found a gas can at his job with gas already in it. Brought it to my car, filled my car up. My question is, why don't they make men like this anymore?
What?
Your problem is not that they don't make men like that anymore. Your problem is that you are not a fully functioning adult. That's what's wrong with you. It has nothing to do with men whatsoever. You have I assume, a modern car that has a gas light that comes on when your gas is getting low. You knew that. You should have at least 20 miles on it, right? So you rode that motherfucker on the red line until it ran out of gas, and somehow that's men's responsibility. Imagine me, a grown-ass fucking man, saying, "I was at home hungry. I didn't have any food in the house, so I called Meemaw. I called my mother or my grandmother to come and cook me a meal." Why don't they make women like that anymore? Wouldn't that sound crazy? It would, as it should. As it should. You would say you saw the...
Yeah, we got to start doing that. We got to start doing that. Seriously, we got to start doing that. They're like, "Oh, see? I told you, the patriarchy. Never hear the end of it."
Refrigerator didn't have food in it. Why didn't you prepare? Why didn't you go to the store yesterday? Why didn't you fill up your gas tank?
Exactly.
Y'all are adults. Y'all are outsourcing adulthood to the men in your lives to take care of you so that you can act like children. Stop it.
So I see, if you said as my man, it would be different. He wouldn't have said this. If you would have said my man did that, or my husband did it, which is what he's supposed to do. My man, that's what he's supposed to do. Children. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to subscribe. Also, anybody out there stuck in that same situation, get out of corporate America. Seriously, I realized it. What was that? How many years ago was that? 14 years ago. Got out, and now I'm here. And it was wild because it was 3 years later. I left corporate America 2012, 2015. I was here. But yeah, y'all, peace out. See you next video.
Answer's coming.